Good day everyone. Welcome to Teacher Julie channel. Hello everyone. We have our new lesson in Science 7, which is all about designing a scientific investigation. This will be the first quarter topic and learning competency number 6. This lesson is under the Matatag For the objectives, by the end of the lesson, the 80% of the learners will be able to first identify the key components of a scientific investigation. The second one is to formulate an appropriate aim or problem for a scientific investigation. And the last one is to draw reasonable conclusion based on the findings of the investigation. In activating prior knowledge, ask the students the following questions. What do you already know about the scientific investigation? Afterwards, encourage the students to share their understanding of the scientific method and the steps involved in the scientific method. And then, ask the follow-up questions. Have you conducted any scientific investigation before? What steps did you follow in your previous investigations? And what challenges did you face in conducting the scientific method? In establishing purpose of the lesson, for the lesson purpose, explain the students to learn how to design and conduct a comprehensive scientific investigation, and explain that the learners will explore the following key components: the aim or the problem, materials and equipment, method or procedures, results including data, and the conclusions. In unlocking content vocabulary, so we are going to use the match type activity. So students will match the key vocabulary terms to their corresponding definition, reinforcing their understanding of the concepts. Invite students to come up one at a time and match a definition card to the appropriate vocabulary terms. In developing and deepening of understanding, we are going to explain the different steps in the scientific investigation with a more detailed explanation. So the first step is the aim or the problem. This is the heart of your investigation. It's the question you want to answer through your experiment. A good aim is clear and specific. It should be focused. Questions about what you want to investigate. Don't try to answer too many questions at once. And then, answerable through an experiment. The question should be something you can test by collecting data. And the last one is measurable. You should be able to measure or observe something to find an answer. For example, to investigate the effects of temperature on the rate of photosynthesis in green algae. Clear and specific, the aim focuses on a single focus questions about the relationship between the temperature and the rate of photosynthesis in green algae. And in answerable through experiment, the question can be tested by collecting data on photosynthesis rates at different temperatures. And the last one is measurable. The rate of photosynthesis can be quantified and observed to find an answer. Another example is to investigate the effect of different soil pH levels on the growth rate of tomato plants. For the clear and specific, this aim is clear in its focus on the relationship between the soil pH and the tomato plant growth. It does not try to investigate multiple factors or outcomes at the same time. And then, for the answerable answers throughout the experiment. The aim can be investigated by setting up an experiment where tomato plants are grown in soil with different pH levels and their growth rate are measured. This allows for data collections to answer the question. And the last one is measurable. The growth rate of the tomato plants can be quantified, such as by measuring the height, the number of the leaves, or biomass of the plants, and this provides a measurable outcomes to determine the effects of the soil pH. Another steps in scientific investigation is the materials and the equipment. This is the list of tools and supplies you need to conduct your experiment. The following are the things you need to consider. The first one is the adequacy. You should have everything needed to carry out your procedures effectively. The second one is the safety. Choose materials that are safe to use and handle. And the last one is the availability. So ensure the materials are readily available or easily obtainable. The following are the common materials in scientific investigation. Are the considerations for selecting materials and equipment. The first one is the safety and handling requirements. The second one is the availability and the accessibility. The third one is the compatibility with the investigation. The fourth one is the accuracy and precision of measurements. And the last one is the potential sources of errors or interference. Another steps of scientific investigation is the method or the procedures. This is the detailed step-by-step plan for conducting your experiment. It outlines exactly what you will do to test your aim. So a good method should be clear and concise. So write specific instructions that are easy to understand and follow even by someone else. The second one is sequential. List the steps in order they will be performed. And the last one is repeatable. The method should be written in a way that allows others to repeat your experiment and get the similar results. Another steps in scientific investigation is the results including the data. This section documents the finding of your experiment. It includes all the information you collected during the investigation. Data can be presented in various ways. Observation, detailed description of what you saw, smell, heard, and etc. during the experiment. And then the second one is the measurements. Quantitative data collected using the tools like rulers, thermometers, or the scales. The fourth one is the table and the charts. Organized presentation of your data for easier analysis. And the last one is the graphs. Visual representation of your data to identify the trends or the relationships. The following are the ways to present investigation results. Other steps in scientific investigation is the conclusions. This is where you interpret your results and answer your initial question or the aim. A good conclusion should be: first is based on the evidence. It should be derived directly from the data you collected during the experiment. The second one is explanatory. Explain what your findings mean in relation to your aim. And the last one, it supports or rejects. It states your data supports or rejects your initial hypothesis if one was formulated. Another lesson is the hypothesis and the variables. Hypothesis is an educated guess or a prediction about the outcome of an experiment based on your observations and prior knowledge. For example, plants placed in a sunny location will grow taller than the plants placed in the shade. Independent variable. This is the factor you deliberately change or manipulate in your experiment to see its effect on something else. In our example, the independent variable is the amount of the sunlight. Dependent variable, this is the factor that you measure or observe in response to the changes made in the independent variable. In our given example, the dependent variable is the plant growth. Controlled variable, these are the factors that you keep the same throughout the experiment to ensure a fair test. So in our given example, we want to control the amount of water of both plants receive and the pot size and etc.